In a nutshell, the farm is 85 hectares, all in one block. Consists of some woodlands and the rest is all permanent pasture. We have a suckler herd enterprise comprising of 70 pedigree Aubrac cows and about 80 to 85 crossbred Rouge ewes. We got to know about Saubac. First of all, my wife met Christophe and Marcel in France at a show. I wasn't at that show, but the following year I went and she introduced me to Christophe at, I think it was the Cornell show. And then a couple of years later, Christophe came over here and explained the principle again to me. And we went from there, and I'm delighted we did. My observations so far have been very positive. We've used it since the year 2013, so it's now 15, so we've used it for 3 years. I've noticed a big turnaround in the farm. 2012 was really the crux for the farm. We'd had rainfall, unlimited rainfall from the year 2007 to 2012, and the farm had lost productivity. Its fertility had probably crashed because of all the surplus rain, and I think my farm would not have been unique in that. So we needed to build fertility and to keep our fertility. In other words, we had to do it organically with organic matter and something that was going to change the soil. And I didn't want to go down the chemical route, because if we got another wet summer, all the chemicals that were put into the soil would just wash straight back out again into the water table. So that was not the intention. The intention was to build fertility and to keep fertility. And the Saubac products, be it Bacteriasol, Bacterialit, were the two products that really grabbed me and said, this will work. It's worked for others. And from what I read from the testimonials, they were very much commercial farms that were using it. They weren't hobby farms. And if I said it was good for them, it was good for me. What I noticed immediately was the ease with which the farmyard manure broke down, and when it was spread, how quickly it was absorbed by the soil. The slurry seemed to take a very small amount of time to agitate, compared to what some people say the tractor could be there all day agitating, whereas for me he was even in the large tank, which holds just under 90,000 gallons, he agitated for less than an hour. With the slurry, you can actually walk behind the guy spreading it, and you'll be downwind of it. And you've obviously got a bovine smell of it, but there's not this take your head off smell. It's just a small slurry odor rather than an acrid smell. So the first year, it was slow. And that's possibly for two reasons. The soil needed that year to actually work. But certainly year 2, year 3, it has been very productive, and the hay seems to dry quicker because there's not as much moisture in it, or the dry matter is higher, and the silage is the same. And productivity, last year we had 70 cows in one group in the shed, and they received 2 bales of haylage per day, plus 5 bales of straw per week. And they were very content. If they weren't content, they would certainly have told me. Definitely last year, I noticed a big difference. I mean, the weanings were 30 to 40 kilos heavier than the previous year. I haven't weighed them as yet at the moment, but it looks like they will be similar to last year. I fed 3 tons of creep for 36 bulls. Worked out very, very economic, and we had cows or bulls still on the cow doing a little under or a little over 2 kilos a day. It was we sold bulls off the cow, just weaned, The average weight we sold to one beef man, the average weight was 380 kilos, which the year before was 350. So there was a 30 kilo difference.
Per day?
The heifers are gaining around a kilo to a kilo 1 a day. The bulls would be 1.3 upwards per day. That's with the cow on grass only, with the minimum of creep, really the last 4 to 6 weeks before weaning, just to basically get them used to the alternative diet as opposed to milk. I suppose, having run it fairly extensively up to then, I've now gone a little bit more intensive because I feel I have the ability to do so, and have not noticed any health effects because of that. Lambing would be about 1.7. Last year was a bit higher, was nearly just under 2. This year was a little bit lower, 1.7. Calving is always 100%. I wouldn't have it otherwise. There's no free rides here. Even for old cows, they have to do their bit, otherwise they're gone. Lambs are doing very well. We're allowing now, because of the extra grass and the rotation of the cows and sheep work hand in hand. We try and dose less, and the lambs are going, I would say, 2 to 3 weeks earlier than in previous years. The whole reason I think that the Soback has struck me is that it's giving me now a balance to use in both good years and bad years. So in a good year it'll work extremely well, and in a bad year, where the years 2007, 2012 hopefully won't return, but they will return in time, in weather-wise, and we need that stability, which you're never going to get if you follow conventional farming, and you end up chasing your tail. And with this Soback, it mightn't be the be-all and end-all, but it certainly balances the farm. One thing I have noticed in the consistency of the fields, paddocks, where we would have had quite a few thistles, docks, and especially buttercup, which is a sign of compaction and acidification of the soil. I'm now noticing all these weeds are still in the paddocks, but they're negligible amounts, maybe gateways around water troughs, and certainly the buttercup has made a huge regression. From one field that looked like it was 100% buttercup is now 95% grass clover mix and just about 5 or 100% buttercup. And that has been the astounding. And I've actually even pointed out to certain farmers who would pass that field on the road and asked them, have they noticed a difference? And they all said yes. First reason why to keep using it, I'm seeing huge changes in the field. Some would be more subtle, like you'll often go into a field and say, where's that patch of nettles gone? I remember it there. It's not there anymore. And the big changes would be, I have one field that got, you could say in a word, trashed. I had horses in it for 2 winters in a row, and they damaged it on a lot. They panned it, they poached it, they would have grazed out certain areas, left certain areas. So that field needed a lot of recuperation. A lot of people would have said re-sow it immediately, but that really would not have solved the problem of compaction. So I used the Soback product. It's taken 3 years, and now the productivity of that field has bounced back. A little bit of oversowing was used, 2 years of oversowing. That's 2014, 2015. And having walked through it now numerous times, the clover grass balance is very, very good, and the cows are happy on it, whereas 2 years ago they couldn't wait to get out of it. Now they can't wait to go in there.